Live from the Fox 5 studios in Atlanta, you're watching Good Day Extra.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Good Day Extra. I'm Karen Graham.
And I'm Jeff Hill. We got a packed show for you this morning.
Well, according to the CDC, 7.3 million women in the U.S. struggle through the physical and emotional turmoil of infertility. And yet it is the one condition that causes many women to feel the most alone. Infertility counselor Carol Jones joins us this morning to offer helpful and hopeful advice for anyone having problems conceiving. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning.
And when I say women feel alone, you'd be amazed at how you start a conversation with a woman and she thinks she's the only one, and then she finds out 4 or 5 of her coworkers are actually struggling through the same thing.
That's true. I bet you know someone.
Exactly. Just conversations you had.
I met someone walking into your lobby this morning that we started talking about their infertility. And the rates are increasing at alarming rates.
Is there a reason for that? Why?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. I think one of the reasons is that we live differently now. People are waiting until they're older to get pregnant. They are starting their families later. And as we get older, it makes a big difference with our infertility. After about age 35, a woman's fertility starts declining rapidly. We live in a fast-paced, high-tech world that is full of stressors, and stress affects our mind and our bodies. We have an increase in sexually transmitted diseases. We have environmental toxins. We have lifestyle compromises such as obesity and cigarette smoking and abuse of alcohol and drugs and caffeine. All those things affect fertility.
That's a lot of factors, really. I never thought about it that way. And listen, I need to point out, too, that you're here not just as an expert, but you've actually walked this walk.
I have.
You know exactly what men and women are going through. And this can become an all-consuming thing in the family. It is like the elephant in the room. You know, it becomes the topic of conversation. It becomes the only thing that a family thinks about. And I think in the book that you wrote, you tell people to just kind of breathe a little bit. Just relax and, you know, just kind of take this one day at a time.
I do try to talk a lot about how to manage the many challenges that go on through this. And I may give examples, like for couples, of how to get back in the rhythm of having fun sex again. And I may talk about how to do some simple things, such as change how you breathe to help you feel calmer and more peaceful.
You mentioned men, because I think a lot of people forget. They think it's just a woman's issue, but men are just as affected by this as women are.
They are. It's a problem that affects men equally with women. And I think men and women have a few different emotional reactions. The woman, since the pregnancy happens in her body, often starts fantasizing about the pregnancy and the baby and that sort of thing. The men are thinking more about being a dad and playing with their baby and their child. But for both of them, it's a really painful and sad time with a lot of grief each month if they find out they're not pregnant that cycle.
And we don't talk about it a lot, but what if the man is having the infertility problems? Like I said, we focus on the women so much. Men also have issues. How do they, what do they do? Do they have to seek counseling as well as just as a woman would?
I think counseling is very helpful for the couple because it really is a couple's problem.
That's true.
I'm not sure that men are quite as open with their male friends about what they're going through because, once again, the woman's body gets focused on the person that goes through the infertility. But they both need a lot of support and understanding from their family and friends.
Speaking of family and friends, any tips? Because this can be an uncomfortable situation. If you're a family member or a friend who has a friend or a couple, what do you say? What do you do? Are there inappropriate things to say or right things to say?
Yeah,
yes.
They're very inappropriate things to say. In that they can be really hurtful to the couple, even when you don't intend it. To say something to somebody which seems so harmless, but is not, like, well, when are you going to start a family, or how many children do you have, and a grandmother that says, well, when am I going to have another grandchild? Those things can be so painful for the person going through this. Some things that you can do are be very sensitive and say, maybe I don't really understand infertility that well. Can you tell me something about it, or can you recommend a book that I could read? Can I take you to some doctor appointments? Can I bring you some dinner after surgery, and just remind them that a couple is a family too.
Got it. Speaking of great books to read, you have one. This is it, just in case, in Managing Fertility, in case anybody's interested. And if you're struggling, or you know someone who is struggling with infertility and maybe need to talk with a counselor, we can help out. Check out Carol's website at theinfertilitycounselor.com. And for more information, you can go to our website, myfoxatlanta.com, and we will have a direct link.